If you're having some cash flow issues with your gym, this video is meant for you. I'm gonna go through all the different steps you can be improving so that you can fix those cash flow issues at different levels for sure. By the way, why should you be listening to me? This is Gabriel, by the way, if you don't know me by now. I help gym owners to get to 7 figures and above by systematizing client acquisitions and making sure that they get a consistent growth. I'm gonna go into 5 different ways you can go ahead and fix these cash flow issues. Ideally, you can do all 5, which is better, but if you just implement one today, this is gonna get you one step closer to that end goal. It's simple, but nobody wants to do this for some reason, is to charge more. Yeah, I'm starting with one that's pretty ballsy, but my friends, this is extremely important. Why? Because I can guarantee you, first and foremost, there are 2 ways to see this. Number 1, gym owners, most of them, I would say you're undercharging. You're taking a look at your competition, see if you can do a little bit like, price a little lower than them, so you can do a price war, which makes sense if you are a supermarket or a grocery store if you're in the US. Honestly, if you're watching this video, you're more likely to be some form of a boutique gym, somebody that has a higher price attached to your product. Because why? Because you do add more value, right? So if you're trying to play the game that, let's say, an access-only gym is playing with doing lower price and things like this, but you are somebody that's totally different, do you think it's going to be working? No, because those strategies are made for 2 different types of businesses. So you got to understand that this is not the place to be doing some low prices and things like this. Of course, I don't mean that you can't do some great deals or things like this, but your average price, the thing that you're charging at the base, should be typically way higher than this. Now, as I mentioned, there are two ways to see this. Number 1, you can just, charge more even by not changing a thing, just because charging more, and I can let you take a look into why charging more is a better thing, because, let's think about this for a second. People are going to care more whenever they're going to be waking up in the middle of the day and be like, oh no, I don't want to go to the gym. Shit, I'm actually paying something for this gym. I better show up because, I'm actually paying big bucks for that. The coaches are great because then you can improve and pay your staff. You can go ahead and do some better service delivery. You can actually give them more value than the other gyms, which makes sense for them to stay long term. So, guys, you're gonna get people more committed. So, why shouldn't you be charging more solely with what you have? Now, as I mentioned, you can either go ahead and just not change anything, but if you are kind of self-conscious like me and you really want to get your business flying up to the moon while making sure you help a ton of people, then I love you, welcome. But also, you can add some things up to your value offer. Now, making sure that you add something to charge more is great, but you got to do it, because one of the things is that I see sometimes the entrepreneurial spirits most of us have, like you and me. You want to just add like 10 other things on your plate, but your plate is already pretty full, as I know with gym owners. But also, you end up having like 10 things to juggle with, and the thing is, it doesn't play out well in the end. So the most important thing is really thinking this through, making changes, but making it as easy as possible to implement operationally. Why? Because then if you can see, let's say it's not going to be much, but if you can add 1, 2, or 3 things in the beginning that can just get you a bit more cash, that are easy to implement and easy to maintain long term, but provide a high return on the investment or a high value, a high margin, then it's going to get you the cash required to, for example, invest in more staff, more people that can then fulfill more operationally complex tasks for you. All right. So first, see the things that are a no-brainer, easy to implement, that can get you the most bang for your buck. Then you go ahead and you implement some harder stuff because you have the manpower to do that. But make sure you don't give yourself 2 other jobs, because it's pretty likely that you're already having like 5 jobs already, and I just don't want to add one to the table for you. So for example, one thing that I did in the past personally is whenever we provided some training, because I did some fitness selling, most of you guys don't know that, but I did some fitness selling online and things like this. Well, one of the things that was easy to implement for us when we were doing this thing is hiring some accountability coaches, for example. This can be somebody that doesn't even work full time, but it's just like, texting with people, checking if they are doing well, calling them just to say, hey, Jenny, hope you're doing great. Max mentioned to me that you did a PR last time, which I want to just congratulate you on. Where are you standing with your diet and everything? Is everything doing all right? Great. Just checking with people, which doesn't take a long time, but you can definitely hire somebody part-time to do that. Doesn't take a long time, but if you add this into your value offer, especially if you're doing something like result-based, like weight loss, performance, something like this based, well, if you have this into your value offer, it has a lot of value because people are then maintained accountable to achieve their goals. All right, but it doesn't like take a lot of money to be implementing that, but you can charge big bucks for that because most gyms don't do that. All right, so that's just an example. take it or leave it, but you can be implementing. Now, as I mentioned, you can either change or not change anything. That's pretty much first point. Now we have 4 more to go, my friend. I hope you had your worth of your time worth just watching this one. I'm gonna go into 4 more, which is then 2 and 3 are a bit similar, but different in their own ways. It really depends on which way you want to go. I mean, you can also try both if you're really ballsy, but I'm gonna just show you 2 separately. You do whatever you want. The second one is gonna be selling big packages up front. So big bucks up front, all right? If you're able to sell some form of challenges now, again, go be careful with this because some gyms got burned with this challenge thing, so be careful with that. I'm sure you know about this one, but if you're able to find a way to get a lot of money up front, it's great because it helps to pay for your advertising budget. Let's say you're charging just $300 or $600, for example. You most likely didn't pay all that to just get this customer. The thing is, if you can get something that can help you, let's say you get 1 sale, all right? If you're able to get this 1 customer right here, pay for his acquisition cost, but also for the next one, then you can basically, you're just printing money out of thin air. Because what's going to be happening is that, okay, this person paid for his fee for himself to be acquired. If you take into consideration ads, sign up costs, and everything, he pays for that. But he also pays for the next one. What you have in here is somebody that can say, okay, I'm generating money on the first sale, let's say $300, but this $300 helps me to pay for the next one, meaning that I can then sign up another person, pay for the ads, pay for everything for the next person. But then when you sign up for this next person, what happens? You again pay for this dude, but this dude pays for the next one. And then as you can see, it just never stops, all right? So if you're able to sell big packages on front and this is something that you can be implementing, then great for you. This can help you to grow extremely fast and scale extremely fast with ad spend and things like this so that you can go ahead and get a lot of acquisitions really fast. Now, if this is not an option for you, I do have another thing for you, which typically is easier to implement in most gyms, which is going to be, again, selling up front, but this time we're not going to be selling big bucks up front. We're going to be selling a long time up front, all right? Most gyms do have offers like this. If you go ahead and you sign up a commitment of 6 months, 12 months, for example, the monthly fee is reduced, which is always great to have because it incentivizes people to go ahead and just, well, sign up for longer. So one way is we can use that into the sales process and pitch it. We have other ways to incentivize people to make a decision now, but for it to make sense, you just go ahead and you do your pitch, you do your presentation around a certain time period. Let's say you want to sell 6-month packages, okay? What you're going to be doing is asking the person, okay, I see where you are right now, you're digging a bit into their situations, you understand where they're at. Where do you want to be in 6 months from now? And then you paint a picture around this time period. Okay, in 6 months, I want to be this % body fat, I want to have this achieved, I want my girlfriend to be looking at me and be like, damn, boy, you're sexy, you know? I don't know, whatever it is that people want to do with their health. And when you paint a picture around that, and then you pitch your 6-month packages, it makes sense because they see, okay, this is what's going to take me to this is how long it's going to take me to achieve this goal. And again, as I mentioned, typically gyms have something where the per month price is discounted a bit if you take on a longer commitment. Well, what you can do in this situation is say, hey, not only is it going to be the best thing for you to achieve your goal, but also if you do go ahead and do the best thing for achieving your goal, it's going to be less money. And that makes sense. And when you have offers that just make sense to people, you're printing money again. So this thing is extremely important to do because why does it fix the cash flow problem in the first place? Because if you have just month-to-month people, you never know when they're going to leave or not. It brings a lot of uncertainty on a day-to-day basis. Like, am I going to be able to make it next month or not? But if you have people that are on engagements and you know they're going to be staying for 6 months, it just brings this sense of clarity and calm about what you're going to be making 6 months from now, and you can have a predictability in the business and know what you can be doing a few months from now. And that's really important because if you just see business as a day-to-day thing, it can be pretty hectic. But if you have some confidence in what's going to be happening in the next 6 months, 3 months, 12 months from now, you put yourself in a position to make better decisions, which long term is going to make you more money and make you more happy. That's number 3. We have 2 more to go. Number 4, my friend, is of course the tried and true, getting more people to the doors. So getting plus stickman to your doors. Pretty simple, but this is one of the ways you can fix those cash flow issues. Of course, is getting more people in, but it also goes in tandem. Don't know if it's a word in French, but it is in English, sorry, but it is a word in French. En tandem. It goes in with something else. It's really important, and often I would say this is the most important one because it's often forget about. Retention. Extremely important, like retention. Because let's say I get you 100 people now in your gym. Fuck yes, I'm just gonna go to Hawaii and fuck off, you know. But I bring you 100 people in to the condition that they're gonna leave in 30 days from. Then you're like, not so good of a deal, right? So you gotta make sure you get those people to stay as long as possible, and especially if you are talking to cold fake that you are bringing through ads, for example, the first 90 days are crucial. They're extremely important. So make sure you go ahead and you say, you congratulate them, you do some achievements, you go around and, for example, let's say, okay, you did X amount of workouts, first workout, like you gratify the fact that they are here in the first 90 days. Of course, keep doing that in the long term, but it's extremely important that you do all those retention plays, all those things that get people to stay longer, especially in the first 9. To get you an idea, if you want to go a bit on stats, typical retention for a gym is 7.9 months. That's the average gym, the gyms that typically, you know, retain those members for a amount of time. Now, let's say I'm just going to do that for 8 months. And of course, the average price of a gym is $163, the average membership at a gym. So let's say, okay, I'm going to get my calculator right here to give you an idea on the numbers and what it looks like, just so it makes sense for you and you can see it, all right? So if we do 163 times 8, it's gonna be $1,304 Okay, so that's the average value of a customer for a gym, all right? But let's say, just for the sake of it, instead of retaining people 8 months, we retain them 12. Doesn't, like, it's a 50% increase. Then the value shoots up. This number, right? $1,956, which is great. But you didn't do really a lot, because I think there is this stat, there is this stat where it costs you 5 times more to acquire a new customer to get that amount of cash, rather than just to keep one that you already have. It's way simpler to keep somebody else than to just to do the work of acquiring somebody else, build another relationship and all that. It takes a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of money. So if you can work on your retention, which I'm definitely going to do some videos in the future on how to improve that, is going to give you not only better results, you're not going to have to do number 4 that much, because you know you're going to have people that are going to stay longer, and also you're going to build a great community, which is incredible. And I think that everybody in the gym niche definitely appreciate the fact of having a family and yeah, just having a family around. It's really important. So those are the 5 ways. Now, by the way, there's a pitch, and as I mentioned, I'm not going to pitch you in this video because I think you got better things to do with your time. But however, if you're struggling with customer acquisitions and getting members that stay long-term consistently on the pay on result basis, well, I do have, if you're interested in that, first link in the description. Check it out. I'm not going to pitch you anything on this video, but if this is something you're struggling with, then definitely check it out. Again, don't want to bother you with this. Don't forget to subscribe and give a like if you enjoyed this video, because, well, I definitely, if you stay to the end, I want to tell you that I definitely appreciate the time that you spent with me today, because I know it's extremely valuable. If you liked it, give a like so that YouTube gives you more recommendations like this one, so that you can go ahead and grow your business, have content that's going to promote for you. I see you in the next one. Appreciate your time. Chat soon.